fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network. We are live for episode, gotta check my notes, 83, episode 83 of the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network. Appreciate you all being here. As always, I'm your host, Nate Horn. I'm better known as Shaggy Bets. I got producer Sook helping me out in the shadows, and we've got a lot to talk about today, folks. Only a couple of shows on the Betting News Network today. You got me for the Morning Spread here for the next 59 minutes, and then we've got Afternoon Betspresso later this evening at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. Packed show on Betspresso, but just two on the network today. Plenty to talk to you about. Haven't been here since Thursday. Hope you all had a phenomenal weekend. We had plenty of sports going on, plenty of excitement in the World Cup, and we are down to our last 31 teams. We are officially in the round of 32. Things got kicked off yesterday with Canada taking down South Africa. We're going to recap that match. We're going to talk about what else happened this weekend as group stage concluded. We're going to talk about the rest of the bracket, the round of 32. And, of course, we've got three matches today that we got to break down, including one going off here in about 58 minutes as Brazil and Japan go head-to-head. So we're going to talk about all of that and more. Canada sucks from our guy, Ronan. Hey, they got the win. They got the win. That's what matters. They're moving on to the round of 16. First time in the country's history that they've made the round of 16. Good for them. But unfortunately for them, they are going to have a hell of a round of 16 matchup, getting the winner of the Netherlands and Morocco that we're going to talk about here later today. That match kicking off at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern tonight. Let's get to the bets. Eventually we will, Jeff. Don't you worry. When was the last time I had my tires rotated? That's actually a great question, Ghost. I think they got rotated like a couple months ago, but I'd have to confirm. So we'll see what happens. At least Ronan's in the Twitch chat, not the private chat. Yeah, let the people know, Ronan. All right, you got something to say? Say which chest to the whole chat, not just the private chat. Appreciate you guys all being here. Hope you had a great weekend. As always, back to business Monday morning. Let's talk some sports. No sweat token to build a parlay. He's on limited time. All right, Jeff, I'm going to flash him up for you real quick. We're going to get into the analysis here in a little bit. But speed round, what am I betting on for these three matches today? We got Brazil and Japan. Both teams to score no at minus 120. We're taking the Germans by 2. Germany minus 1.5 at plus 107. And then we got a little same game parlay for the last match. We're taking the Netherlands to advance, not to win, to advance, and the under 3.5 goals in 90 minutes of that match. Those are the three bets. We're going to get into those here in a little bit. But there you go, Jeff. That's where my head's at. My camera has been doing something weird this morning that it's like a buzzing sound is coming from the, what's the word I'm looking for? Control panel, I guess. I can't even like show you guys, but I got a little thing here with 5 buttons. And it's like doing this buzzing sound. Unless I turn, there we go. That didn't really affect my light, but I turned it down. I got rid of the buzzing. You guys can't hear it. Hopefully, I certainly can. It's just annoying the hell out of me. But right now, we're good. Light enough. We're good to go. All right, folks. So those are the three bets. Brazil and Japan, both teams to score no, minus 120. Germany, minus 1.5 at plus 107. And then the Netherlands to advance and under 3.5. at plus 105. We're going to get into that analysis here shortly. You can go check out my analysis right now at bettingnews.com. If you'd like, we got best bets out. We got a full game piece on that Morocco Netherlands game. Sook is trying to solve my camera's issues. I love it. An electromagnetic buzz between electronics is usually caused by EMI, or a physical component vibration known as a coil whine. That sounds like a coil whine if I've ever heard one. When devices sit close together, fluctuating magnetic fields from one can cause Metals in another vibrate or induce unwanted noise into nearby. Maybe it started when I plugged in my phone to this little adapter thing. So maybe that's it. We're just gonna unplug that. Oh, Angers, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. I'm not scared of Morocco, personally. Morocco's a great team. All right, this is a match. Netherlands and Morocco, top 7 teams in the world. Morocco's 6th in the world. Netherlands is 7th. Have fun with that one, all you youngins. But this is a match that could easily be a quarterfinal or even a semifinal of this World Cup tournament. We get it in the round of 32. 2 top 7 teams going head-to-head. I am not worried about Morocco. I have not been impressed with them offensively. They got a cheap one against Brazil to earn that draw. They, only were able to score 1 against Scotland. I know they did so very early in the match and then kind of sat back and took the Scottish attack, but they weren't pressing. They weren't overly aggressive, and they didn't really get that many great chances in that match against Scotland. And then we saw what they had to do with Haiti. All right, Haiti went toe-to-toe with this Moroccan team. They actually had a lead. Haiti did. Morocco had to come from behind not once, but twice, I believe, in that game to tie things up at 2 goals apiece, eventually winning 4-2 after a 78th and an 89th minute winner. So, as far as Morocco's offense goes, I just have not been overly impressed with them. The Dutch have wowed me. I was high on the Dutch coming into this tournament. I thought they were very, very well balanced in the attack, in the midfield, in the back line especially, and they've shown it. A 2-2 win against, or a 2-2 draw, against Japan in that opener, did maybe might have to close the tab. Yeah, that ESPN tab is just freaking with my bandwidth right now, aren't they? The Netherlands with that 2-2 draw in Japan, Japan was going to be their hardest match in that group stage. All right. Clearly we knew that going into it. They turned it on against Sweden. They beat Tunisia like they needed to win the group. And I think the Dutch are primed to make a run in the knockout rounds. We're going to talk about the knockout rounds as a whole here coming up. But those are kind of my initial thoughts there. But yes, Angers, not scared of Morocco. They're a great side, but I think the Dutch can get the win. Now, we're going to get into all that analysis here in a second, but first and foremost, we got to try and learn something and see if we can locate some places on the map as we pull up Geo Sports. As always, shout out Frank Mike Smith for the game. We're going to play it right here on this channel, see if we can get a perfect score. Sook loves this game. We all know that. He's going to help us get a perfect score right here, right now. The Twins and the Vikings share a stadium that was demolished and replaced by the Mall of America in this city. Shout out. I don't technically know if this is Minneapolis or St. Paul, but we're just going to go kind of right there in the middle of the Twin Cities and see what happens. Oh, wow, there's a bunch of comments from you. Hard Rock won't let me parlay Netherlands to advance in under 3.5 goals. I absolutely hate it here. Yeah, Jeff, unfortunately, you're just stuck to that book because Florida with the whole monopoly system down there. Only Hard Rock rough. Not eating turkey for Thanksgiving. How do we lose to a Thanksgiving food? Hey, Drip, we didn't need that match, all right? It was our B team. Our B team was playing a match that did not matter against Turkey's top lineup. And we lost on a last-second goal in stoppage time. It is what it is. I'm confident that our A team would have taken it to Turkey, but Punch played it exactly how we needed to. We did not need to risk an injury, risk a yellow card, any of that stuff. The B team competed with Turkey, who's really no slouch, even though they looked like it in the World Cup this tournament. Turkey's a decent squad, and our B team competed with them. So I was happy with that result. Obviously, it sucks to lose, but in a meaningless match with our B team playing their A team, I'll accept that result. We were looking for Bloomington, Minnesota, but we were pretty dang close, just 9 miles off. Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington hosted the Twins and the Vikings from 1961 to 1981 before both moved downtown. Mall of America opened on the site in 1992 with a plaque marking home plate inside. There you have it. Super Bowl 16, the first ever held in a cold weather city, was played here at the Silverdome in 1982. The Silverdome in a cold weather city. I really don't necessarily know. Detroit, says Jeff. I'll trust him. Close enough. Pontiac, Michigan. The Pontiac Silverdome hosted Super Bowl 16 January of 82, the first in a cold weather city where Joe Montana's 49ers beat Cincinnati. It was also the Lions' home for 27 years before moving to Ford Field. 22 miles off, close enough, 99. We're not going to get a perfect score, but we're pretty dang close. The Royals, not the Kansas City Royals, captured this city's only NBA title in 1951, long before the franchise became the Sacramento Kings. Maybe this is Kansas City. Were they not the Kansas City Kings? Am I crazy? The Royals captured this city's only NBA title in 1951, long before the franchise became the Sacramento Kings. I'm like 90% confident the Kansas City Kings moved out to Sacramento, became the Sacramento Kings. Flint, Michigan, go Tropics? Maybe. ELE, baby. Everybody love everybody. I wonder if that's a typo, and that's supposed to say the Kings captured this city's only NBA title. Sook wants to say Ohio. I'm going to go with Kansas City because I'm, again, 90% confident that the Kansas City Kings became the Sacramento Kings. I'm probably wrong. We're going to put this on the Missouri side because they would have played in Casey Mo. I'm probably wrong. But again, I don't necessarily have a better guess. And fairly confident the Kansas City Kings became the Sacramento Kings. Don't remember them being the Kansas City Royals at all. That's the baseball team. But we'll see. I'm probably wrong. I was wrong. Rochester, New York, the Rochester Royals. There it is. They beat the Knicks in the 1951 finals for the franchise's lone NBA title. Later moved to Cincinnati. Boom. Kansas City. And then Sacramento, home of the NBA's longest title drought. All right, we're on, the right path, I guess. We had the right franchise in mind. Moving on, Miguel Cabrera, 2012 Triple Crown winner. Grew up in this city's sandlots.
Here's what I found.
No, don't listen to me, please and thank you. I'm pretty confident this guy's Dominican. Can the Netherlands score twice plus 130? I think so, Jeff. I have it 2-1. I have it 2-1 Netherlands, which is going to make our same game parlay very sweaty with the under 3.5. But yes, I don't hate the Netherlands team total over 1.5. I would worry if the Netherlands do go up early 1-0, they just sit back and brace for the Moroccan attack because Morocco will press and be aggressive and turn it on, assuming they go down. Yeah, I mean, plus 130, I don't hate that for the team total. Drip saying Venezuela. I'm gonna trust him on this. Grew up in this city's sandlots. I mean, that just looks kind of beachy area. There's a little metropolitan pocket. We'll go with this guy. Somewhere on the outskirts. It was Venezuela. Appreciate you, Drip. In 2012, Cabrera won baseball's first Triple Crown in 45 years, leading the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. Retired with over 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. One more question to go. We need a decent score to get into the 90 range. 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, was born in this European town, somewhere in France. My best guess is Paris, unless Mr. Sook happens to know the birthplace of Rudy Gobert. He's shaking his head down there. I do not know. That is A-okay. I don't have a better guess than Paris unless someone in chat wants to let me know. Let's guess Nice. Okay, we can go with Nice down there on the southern coast. I think that's it. St. Quentin from Drip. All right, Drip, where's St. Quentin? Because I believe that's Nice down there. You guys like how I'm cultured, not calling it nice? I'll go with this. We'll see what happens. See how close we are. Top right. All right, Drip. You commented just in time. Top right. We'll take it. See how close we are. My man pretty much nailed it. Left more. He was trying to tell us. That's okay. Born in San Quentin, 1992, Rudy Gobert became a 7'1" defensive force, winning 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. His hometown honored him with a court in his name. 140 miles off. We got into the A range. Also, people don't really realize Rudy Gobert actually originated COVID-19. That's a joke, folks. That's a joke. Please, nobody sue me for that. 907. 907 out of 1,000. We're going to take it, right? We're going to take it. Messed up Venezuela a little bit, but that's all right. Or excuse me, messed up the Rochester, New York. That was that question 3. Still got an A, right? And not necessarily an undisputed A. There's been some debate on this channel about that, whether or not a 90 is an A. Still not 1,000. Yeah, sorry, Sook. Alex has 2 perfect scores under his belt. All right, you're still getting us A's, though. That's what matters. That's what matters. The little unspoken competition between Sook and Alex. I don't even know if they realize they're in a competition, but they are. And unfortunately, Alex is winning a little bit. But 907 out of 1,000. We're going to take it. That's an A. Love it. Shout out Frank Mike Smith, as always, for Geo Sports. We might pull up some Geo footy or some Geo history at the end of this show, but Geo Sports is awesome. Love playing that game. Let's get into the bets, folks. Or excuse me, let's get into the recap. I gave you the bets. We're going to talk some analysis here in a little bit, but what the hell happened this weekend? First off, we've got to talk about what happened in Kansas City on Saturday night. Algeria and Austria were playing a match. One of the last matches in the group stage competition. Austria and Algeria went into this match tied with 3 points. Austria had a slight nod on goal differential. They were in a very peculiar situation where a draw would send both teams through to the round of 32. Both Austria and Algeria, 1 point, good enough for both of them to advance. However, if there was a winner, either Austria or Algeria, if there was a winner, the winner would be through, the loser would go home, and Iran would be our final team in the round of 32. It was an exciting match. They went back and forth. A lot of people thought these teams would kind of shake hands, a little unwritten agreement. Let's just play a kick around. A 0-0 draw sends us both through. That's fine. We're going to keep this a boring match so that both teams move on to the round of 32. That's not what happened, because Austria got the scoring started 28 minutes into the match. Algeria tied things up before halftime. We were sitting at a 1-1 game. Marcel Sabitzer gave Austria a lead early in the second half in the 55th minute. Riyad Mahrez tied things up in the 60th. We were tied up at 2-2 with 30 minutes to go. Both teams already advancing as things currently stand. Then teams started parking the bus. Austria, man, they compacted all 11 defenders tight behind the ball. They were playing extremely defensive. They were satisfied with the draw, as they should be, because that would have moved them on to the round of 32. But they gave up a goal to Riyad Mahrez, scoring his second of the game in stoppage time. In the 90-plus third minute of stoppage time, they were only supposed to play 4. There were only 4 minutes of stoppage time in that second half. Riyad Mahrez scored in the 90-plus 3. It looked like that would be it, right? Algeria took the lead. They looked like they were going to finish second in this group. They looked like they'd move on and face Spain in the round of 32. Austria was going to get sent home, and Iran was going to move in to the round of 32. But guess what happened? There was maybe some collusion on the sidelines. There's been some videos that have come out of the Austria and the Algerian benches kind of jarring with each other after that stoppage time goal by Riyad Mahrez. Maybe there was some collusion. Maybe there was an unwritten handshake, an agreement that both teams were going to draw and move each other on to the round of 32. After that Riyad Mahrez goal, I thought that was it. I thought Algeria was going to win. but we still had some excitement left. Austria ended up scoring in the 90 plus 6th minute to tie up the game, to move themselves into the round of 32 and keep Iran out of the knockout rounds. This is a match that people thought was going to be boring, a 0-0 draw. And they ended up playing a 3-3 draw in Kansas City, giving the fans an incredible game, an incredible atmosphere, and a very exciting match, which, again, after one goal, Algeria was eliminated. They tied it up. Now Iran's eliminated. Austria takes the lead. Algeria is eliminated again. They tie it back up. Iran's eliminated. Algeria takes the lead in stoppage time, and Austria is eliminated, but then Austria comes back and scores in stoppage time to tie things up, earn a draw, and sends Iran packing. There were some great videos of Iran's team celebrating that Algeria goal that hypothetically would have sent them to the round of 32 prior to Austria tying things up. I mean, just a huge roller coaster of emotions for really all three teams, the two on the pitch, as well as Iran watching at home, watching their fate be decided by two other teams. And again, a lot of people thought this might be the disgrace of Kansas City, two teams just kind of playing a kick around to move each other through, but they gave us a very exciting match, a 6-goal thriller, and both teams ended up moving on. Thankfully, that Austria goal actually cashed our exacta in this group, Argentina and Austria finishing 1 and 2 at plus 145. Little Shags, he was actually sweating out the draw as well at plus 110 that came home. So that Austria goal, very, very big for my own bankroll as well as Little Shags. So shout out Austria for tying things back up. But just an incredible match that people kind of thought would be the dullest of this entire tournament. But Algeria, Austria, both moving on to the round of 32. Algeria would never clue they're perfect, no bias at all because they love Lawrence. Yeah, not disagreeing with that, Angers. I appreciate it. Algeria, rock chalk Algeria, folks. They have embraced Lawrence, Kansas. Lawrence, Kansas has embraced them, and it's been very cool to see those cultures combining. I was going to say clashing, but that's a negative connotation. They've been very welcoming of each other. Very cool to see just all the European, South American, whomever visitors coming to check out America for the first time has been phenomenal. All right, what else do we need to chit chat about that happened over the weekend? I mean, again, we're in the round of 32, right? Group stage ended. We have our final 31 teams on the bracket. Yesterday, Canada took down South Africa in the first knockout round match of this 2026 FIFA World Cup. A stale, boring match for most of the contest. It was scoreless through 90 minutes, actually. A lot of people thought we were going to get extra time, but Estequillo found the back of the net in stoppage time, 90 plus 2. He sends one to the bottom left corner to beat South Africa, winning 1-0. Thankfully, we cashed that under 2.5 at minus 140. And we got the correct score as well. Canada 1-0 plus 500. That was a nice little bankroll builder. Canada really dominated the stat sheet. Looking at the expected goals, Canada 1.38 compared to just 0.14 for South Africa. That whole match was South Africa sitting back and bracing for this Canadian attack that eventually broke through in stoppage time to send Canada to the round of 16 for the first time in country's history. Very cool to see. But as I have said to my Canadian coworkers and friends, good luck next round because you're going to get either the Netherlands or Morocco, two teams very hungry to make a run in this World Cup. Both top 7 teams in the world. Canada, thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Thanks for hosting. It is what it is. And also, I got to talk about this too. I've heard a lot if you don't want to take Canada, India plus 29.5 for today in FIBA from our guy Sook. Can India cover 29.5? All they got to do is not get 30 balled, folks. There's no chance. There's no chance India gets 30 balled. Who are they playing, Sook? Who's the favorite in that game? Are you going to tell me it's the USA? Oh, it's Lebanon. Psh, come on now. India plus 29.5. That's getting locked in for sure. I'm tailing that. But Sook, you are going to want to cover your ears for a sec because I am going to I'm not going to shit on Canada right now. but there's been a lot of Canadians talking about how they got screwed as a host city. Mexico gets to play their round of 32 match in Mexico. The U.S. gets to play their round of 32 match in the U.S. Canada should get to play their round of 32 match in Canada, right? They could have. If they drew against Switzerland, they didn't even need to beat Switzerland. All they had to do was draw against the Swiss in the final group stage match. And guess what? You would have topped the group. And guess what? You would have gotten to play in Vancouver in the round of 32. You had that opportunity. You just couldn't get there. You just couldn't get there. You had the opportunity. All you had to do was win your group, and you're playing in Canada. So I disagree with anyone, thinking that they got screwed and they should be playing all their matches in Canada. You had the option to win your group, and you didn't. All right, that's the reality of the situation. So you got the win over South Africa down in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Now you're moving on to face the Netherlands or Morocco. Where's that match going to be? That round of 16 match is going to be in Houston. Now you're going to Houston. Just win your group, Canada. Just win your group, and then maybe you can bitch about stuff. But other than that, just play some soccer. All right, you should be more worried about that round of 32 matchup, or round of 16 matchup, excuse me. All right, that kind of does it on a little weekend recap. Not a whole lot of other excitement in the India group stage. For the most part, we had stuff pretty much finalized going into those final group stage matches. Shout out Congo. Moving on to the round of 32, a 3-1 win over Uzbekistan sends them into the round of 32. Now they get a date with England in the knockout rounds. Good luck with that one, Congo. We'll see if you can keep up with the Brits. And then yes, KP let us know that Messi once again doing Messi things. Up to 6 goals now in the FIFA World Cup, coming on as a sub for Argentina against Jordan and netting a penalty kick. There's a 33.5 for India as well. Swiss kicking them out of their home and taking over. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Switzerland played just one match in Vancouver in the group stage game, but now get a second one there against Algeria in the round of 32. That match on Thursday at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. Still got plenty of late kickoffs. And honestly, what is up with the schedulers in the World Cup? Monday and Tuesday both make sense. We got games today at noon, 3:30, and 8. We got games tomorrow at noon, 4 and 8. These times all Central. But then Wednesday we get freaky. 11, 3 and 7, 2, 6 and 10 on Thursday, 1, 5 and 8:30 on Friday. Just no consistency from these FIFA schedulers, which I think would be a priority going into the round of 32. Make it easy on the fans. Hey, the games are at noon, 4 and 8 every single day. Guess not. I'm not in charge though, folks. So don't come at me with that. That's on FIFA. Canada actually is the second largest Algerian population outside of the country itself. Fair enough. Would not have known. Would not have guessed. In fact, actually, in the U.S., so this excludes Canada, but in the U.S., Algeria actually the highest population per capita in the U.S. is actually in Olathe, Kansas, which is, just a few miles from where I'm at, actually. So didn't know that, but the fun facts you learn when the entire world comes together for the beautiful game. Cool stuff. All right, folks, we got 30 minutes until this first match kicks off, so let's get into some best bets as we break down Brazil and Japan. Brazil and Japan, I think it's the different time. Yeah, that would make sense. Uh-oh. Here I am. Do your thing, Sook. Whatever you got to do. I'll stall. Shaggy, ever been to the Shields in Overland Park? If so, thoughts? I have been to the Shields in Overland Park. There's a Ferris wheel in it. Shields is like its own mall. Shields is, literally, I think it's characterized as like a sporting goods store, but that thing sells everything. They have like a home goods section. They have a freaking cafe, Ferris wheel. I want to say there's an aquarium in there. I don't know for sure, But yeah, the Shields in Overland Park is absolutely insane. I mean, if so, thoughts like I don't think you need to plan a trip to Overland Park just to visit the Shields if that's what you're asking. But like, it's a cool place to check out. Cool place to check out. There's great restaurants around that area too. So worth stopping by. But all right, let's talk about this first World Cup match going off here in 29 minutes. Brazil and Japan meeting in Houston at NRG Stadium for this round of 32 match. We got Brazil as just a slight favorite on the money line, minus 138. Ron, how you doing, sir? Brennan O'Neill, free cheese. Free cheese, Brennan O'Neill. Appreciate you, Ron. And Drip, I don't know if you're going to like this because I'm going the opposite. I am going both teams to score no at minus 120. Brazil and Japan, both teams to score no at minus 120. Now, part of this was this just being a value play. As on some other books, I was seeing this priced all the way up to minus 145, even I think minus 150 on a couple of sports books. But minus 120, 30 cents off of what the rest of the market's offering. I will absolutely take that. And here's my thinking. Japan should know that they are outmatched offensively. Right? You're facing Brazil, a team that has plenty of options scoring-wise. Plenty of attacking power, and Vini's just playing out of his mind right now. So Japan does not want to get into a shootout with Brazil. You're not going to keep up. You're not going to be able to score 3 or 4, whatever you need to beat Brazil if you give up 1 or 2 quick ones. So what should Japan do? They should sit back. They should park this bus for 90 minutes and even 120 minutes if they force extra time. Japan's best option is turning this into a coin flip and getting this into the PK shootout. Now, if we get to the PK shootout, it's not technically a coin flip. Brazil is still going to be the favorite there. I still believe Brazil has the edge if they get to a PK shootout. But that is Japan's best option going into this match. We saw how good, their defense is, beating Tunisia 4-0 in a shutout. They battled back from a draw to earn a draw against the Netherlands. Somewhat comparable to Brazil. But again, Japan's best option is keeping this low scoring. Honestly, a 0-0 draw would be in Japan's best interest, forcing extra time, forcing a penalty kick shootout. This is a 90-minute wager, folks. This bet is settled after 90 minutes. If things are scoreless through 90 minutes, and then we have a 1-1 draw in extra time going into a PK shootout, guess what? We've still got a winner. All right, this both teams to score bet is settled after regulation time, regardless of if we go to extra time or not. I am hoping for a 0-0 draw or a Brazil shutout victory. That's kind of how I see this one going. Again, Japan should be very, very defensive in this match. Plus the half for Japan, tempting at plus money. You can get that +1 at plus money as well, which is also tempting because I don't see this getting out of hand. The other option in this match would be Brazil and an inflated under. Looking at those odds right now, let's see. You can go Brazil and the under 3.5 at +139. You can go Brazil and under the 4.5 for plus money still. Brazil and under 4.5 at +106. That would be my lean as far as the same game parlay in this match goes. But again, I don't see Japan contributing. I think they are going to be too busy defending. I think most of this match is going to be played on on Brazil's attacking half of the field. I think Japan's going to spend a lot of the time on their heels trying to just brace for this Brazilian attack. So both teams to score no. Best bet in this match from myself at -120. This one kicking off here in about 25 minutes. But again, the thinking, Japan does not want to get into a shootout. They're going to do everything in their power to possess the ball and then just defend as much as they can. Because, again, if Brazil gets an early one, the floodgates might be opened, and they might run up the score after that. So we'll see what happens. Brazil money line and under 9.5 corners at +127. Don't hate that trip because Japan is definitely going to make it a priority to contain Brazil's offense and limit their offensive chances, including not giving them as many corners as this Brazilian team's capable of producing. So don't hate that. Going with the both teams to score no for myself at minus 120. Again, minus 120, 25, 30 cents better than the rest of the market. So I had to take a stab there. Brazil, Japan, going head-to-head at NRG Stadium in Houston, starting here in about 25 minutes. Moving on, let's go to Germany and Paraguay, who are going head-to-head at Gillette Stadium up in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Germany taking on Paraguay. And Germany is a massive favorite for good reason. Minus 300 on the money line. Paraguay at plus 850. Now you see that, still hate the way you say Paraguay. Paraguay. How else do you say it? Sook, do you want to come up and pronounce Paraguay for me real quick? Just how you say it? No. It's Boston Stadium according to FIFA. Yeah, FIFA can fuck off, man. Excuse me, pardon my French. Way too early for that on this Monday morning. Germany and Paraguay going head-to-head at Gillette Stadium. Paraguay. Nah, I'm not saying that. There's no W in that word. Germany, Paraguay. We're taking Germany on the spread. Minus the 1.5, plus 107. Germany's just a better team here, folks. Right? Now, Germany put out a pretty strong lineup against Ecuador in their third and final group stage match, and they didn't have to. Germany had already won the group going into that final group stage match against Ecuador. They ended up losing 2-1 with pretty much all their starters out there on the pitch. Could that be a little demoralizing? Yes, could be. I don't think so. I think Germany's fine. Again, they did not need to win that game. They were expected to win that match. But again, I don't think that's as detrimental as it could have been. Germany still rock solid facing this Paraguayan side who has not seen a team like this. Paraguay had to face the United States, Australia, and Turkey in their 3 group stage matches. USA's looking good. I'll give them that. They are not comparable to Germany, especially on the offensive end. I think Germany runs up the score here. I think they can win 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, whatever it may be. I think Germany really runs up the score against Paraguay. Paraguay's defense has looked rock solid. I will give them that. But again, this is going to be their toughest opponent of the entire tournament. I think Germany's able to net one in 15, 20 minutes of this match. And again, really just run up the score after that. That first goal is going to instill plenty of confidence in this side. There's not really motivation to run up the score. But again, I don't see Paraguay competing. I don't see them finding the back of the net. I think Germany wins to 0. If you'd like to bet that, I can get you those odds right here in a second. Germany to win 2-0, priced at about plus 113. Plus 113 for Germany to record a shutout win against Paraguay. I see that happening, but I also see them winning this match by 2, even if Paraguay is able to get a cheap one. So Germany minus the 1.5 is my favorite bet in this match. 3:30 kickoff up in Boston for this round of 32 contest. Germany, I think, just handles business, makes light work of Paraguay, and moves on to the round of 16, where they will be facing either France or Sweden. So you're saying Kaufman or drowning, you can only save one. Who are you saving? Come on, Jeff. I ain't answering that. But you know the answer. Sook knows the answer. I'm not going to say it on live television. I'm not going to out my coworkers like that. But you know the answer. Sook knows the answer. We're in good shape there. Sorry, Boost Man. All right, moving on. Germany and Paraguay. Germany minus the 1.5 at plus 107. My favorite bet in that contest. And last but not least, we got the Netherlands. And we've got Morocco. 2 top 7 teams in the world going head-to-head. Again, like I said, this could be a quarterfinal. This could be a semifinal. Hell, this could even be a World Cup final with as good as these two teams are. But they meet up in the round of 32 after the Netherlands won their group and Morocco finished second in theirs. Like I said, got to be a tough matchup. I urge you all to be in front of a TV when this match kicks off at 8 o'clock Central tonight. Gonna be absolute cinema. And again, should be an entertaining match. Netherlands isn't top 7. I literally checked today and they were number 7. Netherlands, number 7. Hold on. I'm pulling this up. I got to put it on a different tab, but I'm just proving Stifler wrong. They're 8th. Interesting you say that, because if you go on FIFA's official website and scroll down, look at that! The Netherlands, right next to number 7. Wild. Morocco, 6th. It's as if these rankings change based on every match, because they do. I misspeak plenty on this channel. I try not to say things that are factually inaccurate. But when I'm right about something, I am going to talk my shit, big dog. All right, that's what we got. Morocco, 6th. Netherlands, 7th in the world. As of right now, fun stuff. Morocco, Netherlands going head-to-head. This match down south of the border in Monterrey. A trusted flash score. That's your issue right there, Jeff. That's your issue right there. Netherlands and Morocco going head-to-head. Netherlands a slight favorite here, plus money on the money line at plus 130. Total set at 2.5. Very, very juiced to the under. Minus 150 on the under 2.5. Kind of tells you it's going to be a low-scoring match, which I would agree. I would think this one's going to be low scoring. Now, that's not to say there's not going to be plenty of offensive chances, because I do expect Morocco to be pressing and be aggressive in this match. Netherlands, though, have the much better defense, in my opinion. I think we've seen that throughout the group stage, because Morocco, you can't be conceding 2 goals to Haiti. Yes, one of them was an absolute banger. I'll give you that. That one's tough to stop. But you played with your food in that match, in a match where you could have ran up the score and potentially won the group. Haiti competed with them. And again, that lost me a lot of faith in this Moroccan side. Again, I think they aren't going to be able to get those big chances like they've been able to create in the group stage match, even against Brazil. Let me pull up some stats here in a sec. Van Dijk is a beast, man. Virgil's just rock solid. Even in that match against Brazil, we had 1.37 expected goals from Morocco. They got that cheap little chip shot early on in the match and then kind of had to sit back and take the Brazilian attack. But Morocco against Scotland, where they won 1-0, they scored 2 minutes into the match. Guess what? Just 0.99 expected goals from that team. They controlled 60% of possession. Yes, they called off the dogs a little bit, but against Scotland, that would have been a match where you could have potentially netted 2 or 3 and helped yourself on goal differential. And then we saw what they did against Haiti. Yes, they netted 4 goals. They needed 2 fairly late in the match to win. But again, I was worried when you went toe-to-toe with Haiti. That's a team you should have beat 4-0, not 4-2, right? So Morocco against this Netherlands back line, who's going to be the best back line they've faced in this tournament. I think the J is after the I, Jeff. I think the J is after the I. I can look that up, though, because I am in front of a computer right now. D-I-J-K. Yep. Virgil van Dijk. D-I-J-K. Netherlands' defense is better than Brazil's, right? So I do think the Netherlands have the edge defensively in this match. I think this is going to be a tall task for Morocco. I don't think they're going to have as much success offensively as they have in the group stage. And we've seen the Dutch, how well balanced they are, right? They can go for 5 goals if they need to. I don't think they're going to need 5 goals in this match. I think 2 probably wins it. I have this at 2-1, the Netherlands, at plus 800. I believe, on that correct score. Let me see what number I got there real quick. Yeah, plus 800 for the Netherlands to win 2-1. Going to be a little sweaty with this under 3.5 in the same game parlay. But the Netherlands to advance and the under 3.5 at plus 105. Again, the Netherlands to advance. A win in regulation, a win in extra time, a win in the PK shootout. However they move on to the round of 30 or the round of 16, as long as in 90 minutes the under 3.5 hits. If we have a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, and then the Netherlands win it 3-1, 2-1, 4-1, whatever in extra time, we've got a winner. Because the total in the same game parlay, the under 3.5, that is a 90-minute wager. Netherlands to advance, they can do that in extra time, in a shootout, in regulation, however it may be. Morocco, they made a miracle run in the 2022 FIFA World Cup, and a lot of people could argue that this team is better than the team that made it to the semifinals in 2022. And I would agree with them. I do think this Moroccan team is better than they were 4 years ago. But this Dutch team is hungry. This is perhaps the Dutch's best squad since they lost in 2010 to Spain in the World Cup final. This is a country that has been to the World Cup final on 3 separate occasions and has lost every single time. Netherlands is a very, very popular dark horse pick in this tournament. They are primed to make a run. They're on the harder side of the bracket. No doubt about it. They're going to have to face likely France in the quarterfinals, try and get by Kylian Mbappe and company. But I think the Netherlands are much more well-balanced than this Moroccan team. I think they're playing better at the moment. We saw that at the last in the last few matches of group stage. And again, I just think the Dutch are better here. Plain and simple, I think the Dutch are the better team. Not scared of Morocco at all. I think the Netherlands win a low-scoring match here, 2-1 at plus 800. Going to make our under 3.5 little sweaty. But yes, I'm going with the Netherlands to advance in the under 3.5 little same game parlay in this match. SPJ, hello, welcome. Enjoy talking with Stifler down in Florida. Yeah, my niece did not like the stash. Let me tell you, I did this for her. She didn't like it. That's okay. Three-year-old niece is gonna say no to me a lot. I'm just getting used to that, apparently. All right, folks, that is basically all I've got for today. Not even looking at baseball. I'm like Sook. I can't find that tab on my sports book, right? Baseball doesn't matter. I know some people were tweeting at me that the Royals lost by like 400 runs this weekend. Don't care. Don't care about the Diamond at all. Big Royals guy. Want the hometown team to succeed. But, you lose 22-1. That's going to lose some support from this guy, let me tell you. Not a baseball guy this week. Too focused on the World Cup. All right, that is what I got. Those 3 bets for today. And starting here in about 12 minutes, Brazil and Japan, both teams to score no. We got Germany minus the 1.5 at plus 107. And then a little plus money, same game parlay, Netherlands to advance, and the under 3.5 at plus 105. Again, the under 3.5 settled in 90 minutes, regardless of if we go to extra time or not. So 1-1 at the end of 90 with a Dutch victory. Boom, love it. That'll cash our bet. Let's talk a little about the knockout. I'm going to actually pull up a graphic, and we're just kind of going to go not necessarily game by game, but we'll just talk some generic round of 32 here in these last 10 minutes of the show. Oh, I got to pull this up on a different tab. Sorry. Let's do this. Go. Boom. Get that out of here. Bring that over here. Guess no hanging at Dollhouse with Stifler. Boo. We want to see that. All right, folks. The knockout bracket. Let's talk about it. And this is probably just going to screw my bandwidth. So let me just close these tabs too, because I don't need those guys anymore. We're getting rid of all that. All right. Knockout round of 32. Shout out Canada. First team into the round of 16. Hang the banner. Canada, first team in the round of 16. in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thanks for playing. Germany, Paraguay, we already talked about. I think Germany's going to move on fairly easily. France, Sweden, we're going to discuss this tomorrow. I will have an individual game piece out for this match as well as the best bets for tomorrow. But I do think this is a match where France will move on. Sweden, just very, very leaky defensively. We saw them give up 5 goals to the Dutch. France, arguably a better attack than the Dutch. I will more than likely be on France's team total in this match. Haven't looked at the lines, to be quite honest with you. It's probably going to be 2.5. Maybe it's 2.5 for plus money, but very little faith in this Swedish defense, especially after what we saw in the group stage matches. France and both teams to score could also be an alternative in this match, but regardless, I do think France is going to move on. I bet it's 2.5 minus 140. Let me just look at that real quick. Because, yeah, you're probably right. It probably is ridiculously juiced. And that just shows you how bad this Swedish defense is. France, Sweden. Yeah, France is favored by 1 3/4 already. They're minus 950 to advance. Even money, actually. Even money for over 2.5 French goals. France team total over 2.5 at even money right here, right now at Lucky Rebel. That is probably going to be my bet in this game. Let's look at a combo while I'm here. Don't worry, folks. I'll have legitimate bets out for you here in a little bit. France and both teams to score at plus 179. That's probably going to be a little more enticing to me than this France team total, just because it's much juicier. Might have to get there on that. Yeah, the plus 180 for France to win and both teams to score, because Sweden's attack is good. They have Victor Gyökeres. They have Alexander Isak. The attack is not an issue with Sweden. It's clearly their defense giving up 5 goals to the Dutch. So plus 180 for France to win and both teams to score, probably going to be my bet in that match. Canada, we already cashed on the under and the 1-0. I already talked about the Netherlands likely moving on against Morocco, but regardless, either one of these two teams going to annihilate Canada. Sook, I just want you to prepare yourself for that right now. All right. July 4th, America's birthday. It's going to be a Canadian beatdown, courtesy of either the Dutch or the Moroccans. So get ready for that on Saturday. Portugal and Croatia, I'm actually having a tough time with. My lean would definitely be Portugal, but I was impressed with Croatia against Ghana, waking up after laying a stinker against England. Croatia finished that group strong. I think they're playing very, very well right now. Croatia on the double chance line at probably plus 105. Likely going to be my wager in that match because I just don't have faith in this Portuguese team. Scoreless against Colombia in a match that they needed to win the top of the group. Perhaps they wanted to lose that game or draw and not face Argentina in the quarterfinals. But you can put on your tinfoil hats and discuss that with whomever you please. Croatia, though, on the double chance line at, let me get it in front of me. Croatia plus the half, plus 110. Likely going to be my wager in that match. As again, not a lot of faith in Portugal, especially offensively. Croatia, a team that's totally fine with a scoreless draw. Totally fine with a low-scoring affair. They'll be fine going to win it in extra time or in PKs. So probably going to be Croatia on the double chance line in that match, but we'll talk about that on Thursday when that match actually kicks off. Spain and Austria. It's Spain. It's Spain. USA and Bosnia. Look, I've got an emotional hedge here. I've got a ticket with Bosnia plus 170, which is a horrible number. Really wish I didn't bet USA round stage of elimination round of 32 prior to the tournament, but that's what we're sitting with. Bosnia plus 170 to advance in this match. Like I said, again, a terrible number. But if the U.S. win and move on, I lose a bet, but I'm happy that the U.S. moves on to the round of 16. Belgium and Senegal is another one like Portugal, Croatia that is kind of a coin flip in my eyes. I'm probably going to be on Senegal. Definitely going to like the under in that match because, again, Belgium, not really giving me faith in them based on what they did in the group stage. Yes, they took down Iraq in their, or not, excuse me, not Iraq. Who'd Belgium play? Belgium played, getting all these groups mixed up. New Zealand. They took down New Zealand in a big win to actually win the group. So maybe they're waking up a little bit, but I'm been impressed with the Senegal defense as well. 5-0 win over Iraq. That's who beat Iraq in their final group stage game was Senegal. I think Senegal can keep this low scoring. I think they could not earn a point, but force extra time, get a draw in the 90 minutes. So Senegal double chance likely going to be my wager in that match as well. Back to the bracket. Brazil, Japan, we talked about leaning with Brazil. Ivory Coast and Norway. I really want to bet the Ivory Coast, but I don't think I'm going to quite get there. Norway clearly wanted this matchup. Bailing on their match against France, playing their B team, not wanting to get paired up against this Sweden. They were fine with the Ivory Coast, but I just worry about them dropping out of form a little bit. Ivory Coast has been rock solid. I think they could at least force extra time in that match. Mexico, Ecuador, I will be on Mexico. Plus 125 on the money line. Ecuador's not scoring, folks. Ecuador is not going to score in that match. Yes, they got 2 against Germany. Yes, Germany was pretty much playing all their starters in that contest. That was do or die for Ecuador against a German team that didn't care. Even though the starters were on the field, don't think it matters. Don't see a world where Ecuador scores against Mexico because they've been rock solid defensively. Think Mexico wins that a lot easier than the plus 125 suggests. Let's put it that way. England and Congo. Not sure what I'm going to be betting on this game, but I do definitely lean with England to advance in some way, shape, or form. Probably both teams to score in that match because I do think Congo is going to press and be aggressive, but we'll see what I come up with that one. That match on Wednesday. Argentina and Cape Verde looks like the most lopsided match of this round of 32, and for good reason, right? It's Argentina and Messi facing a team that's just happy to be here. You're going to hear all about Cape Verde and Uruguay in the good, the bad, and the ugly on Afternoon Bet Espresso later tonight. I'm going to go on a little rant there, and so we'll be talking about Cape Verde later on this channel. Tune into that. Australia and Egypt. This is probably the hardest match for me to come up with a winner. My gut would say Egypt, but Australia has impressed me, so I'm going to have to dive into that one a little bit more. Switzerland and Algeria. I initially, again, leaning with Switzerland, but Algeria has impressed me, so I'm going to have to dig into that one a little bit more. Probably an under in Switzerland and Algeria. I think Switzerland, just a team that's rock solid defensively, is totally okay with low-scoring, scoreless matches. And I feel like Algeria will come into that match rooting for the draw and just trying to limit their mistakes, which could lead to them not being as aggressive offensively against the Swiss defense. So we'll figure out something there, but likely the under. I'm seeing it at minus 138 for the under 2.5 right now on Lucky Rebel. Might have to just pay the juice and root for a low-scoring match in that one. And then Colombia and Ghana going head-to-head Friday night in Kansas City, our last round of 32 match. Probably going to have to be on Colombia in some way, shape, or form. Ghana, like Algeria, Ghana's going to come into the match wanting it to be low-scoring, wanting it to be defensive, knowing how good Colombia is offensively in the attack. They got plenty of options, right? Luis Diaz. They got Luis Suarez if they need him. They've got James Rodriguez. Colombia's just stacked offensively, and they're going to press. But Colombia's defense has actually been rock solid as well. So I could see Ghana forcing a low-scoring match, maybe a 1-0 Colombia win, but we'll probably be on the Colombian side of that match in some way, shape, or form. And that is what we got, folks. That is what we've got. Colombia, Ghana. Again, last match of the round of 32 likely will be on Colombia. But that's kind of how I see the knockout rounds going from a general perspective. Of course, we are going to have best bets out in each of best bets out for each of those days of matches, along with some individual game pieces as well. But folks, that is all I've got. KP dropping a parlay for us in chat. Brazil and the draw, plus Germany money line, plus France money line, plus Mexico or the draw. Brazil double chance, Mexico double chance. Pair that with Germany and France on the money lines at plus 164. KP, you can probably just take Mexico on the money line, make that a little juicier if you'd like, but plus 164, I don't hate it because I see all of those results happening. So I like it. And folks, that is all I've got for you today on the morning spread. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I'll be back in about 4 hours for afternoon Betspresso. I will see you all there. Until then, enjoy these World Cup matches. Brazil and Japan, both teams to score no, kicking off right about now. So I'm going to go get in front of a TV to watch this match. You guys enjoy your afternoon, and I'll see you later this evening for afternoon Betspresso. Enjoy your Monday. Thanks for being here. Peace. There's the button.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do now?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about